right, looks like I am live. At least that's what YouTube is telling me. I am still figuring this out, so bear with me here, folks. Hey everybody, it's David Bourne from newwildmedia.com, and I am coming to you live today. It is Wednesday, March 10th, 2020. I'm in my studio in Asheville, North Carolina, and I am talking about, big picture, I'm talking about video production and content production for the purpose of putting content out into the world so that you can find your audience, communicate with your audience, tell your audience how you can help them, and convert some of them as customers. And so in order to do that, what happens is we dip into a very large pool of possibilities, and those possibilities are sometimes overwhelming. In fact, they're usually pretty overwhelming. There are so many potential things that we can do, and those of us who realize that video is a super powerful medium, we get into it. Even though the tools are readily available to us, sometimes it can be overwhelming how many choices we have. It can be overwhelming how difficult things that seem pretty simple from the outset, how difficult things can get. Now, I've been making videos for, 30 plus years, and I still struggle with the complexity of making videos. So I'm doing this live series that I am just getting set up here. So this series, I've got a new project called Story Tech Works, where I talk about the technology of storytelling. So the technology of storytelling, Story Tech Works, how it all works. Now, what these are is a Story Tech, the Story Tech Workflow series is a series of live videos, and not all live, but mostly live videos that are screen-based, studio-based videos that teach you how to make videos, how to make audio, how to do content, all kinds of content. I look at the big picture. Even though video is my main thing, I look at the entire picture, because most of us, at least the people that I like to talk to, we are sole proprietors of our small businesses, and we tend to either do it all or we need to know how all of it works. So when we create a piece of content, we not only write it, we create it, we edit it, then we publish it, and then we promote it, and then we review it, see how it did, and keep the process going from there. Now, creatives like us, we really enjoy the challenge of that. I'm talking about videos, I'm talking about written pieces, I'm talking about podcasts. I know tons of people that do this. They do everything on their own. Occasionally they will farm out a part of it, but they understand how all of it works. And they are basically production studios. They are every bit of it. They're every bit of a production studio. And so what I am doing is helping people do that better, like I said, because it can be overwhelming, it can be confusing, it can be challenging because the technology is constantly changing. It keeps getting better and better, but we can always improve. And people like us, we do things like this. We not all of us embrace the technology, but we all want to use it. So today, what am I talking about? That was the big why. I do have slides for this, by the way. So that was the intro to the series. I'm talking about pre-production today. So there are 7 phases of production. Now, you're going to see me holding up note cards. I'm a note card guy. I really like note cards. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm talking about pre-production. So I am in pre-production for this new series. And so I am going to talk about pre-production so that you and I can look at pre-production, learn some different techniques on how to do pre-production so that we get better at it, and so that we learn how to do it in a way that really helps us throughout every phase of the project. So pre-production is the topic today. Now, so as I said, we are planning this series. You may have a series that you are planning or that you're in the middle of, and you reach some hiccups, and hopefully this project, my project, will help your project, where you can, the thing about pre-production that I like, it's to me, it's one of the most interesting phases. You're always in pre-production because you're always planning something, because there's always something coming up next. So it's a big topic for me. I really enjoy talking about it. And so the thing that I'm going to drill down on today, though, is something called Storyboard Aloud. And that is why I have note cards, because I want to teach you a way to do pre-production that can open up your entire creative self to get these projects done. All right, so a little bit about the mechanics of it. It's not that difficult to do. You get one of your favorite pens. I like black Sharpies. You get blank note cards. I get the ones with the lines on the back, and I tend to flip them over and I write on the blank part. I'm going to be using some tiny little pieces of masking tape today because I have a, let's see if I can get this to work. Yes, I have a whiteboard over here where I'm going to be posting some things so that you can see these ideas organized. I may as well talk about this while I have it. So, for example, 7 phases of production is one of the big things I'm going to talk about. Now, as you do Storyboard Aloud, you're going to do this in front of you on a desk. You're going to clear a space. You're going to grab your Sharpie, your note cards, and there's one other thing that I want to show you that is pretty critical. And I've written about this on my website. There's an app called Otter, O-T-T-E-R, Otter. It's a transcription app and recording app, and I absolutely love it. And I have found that one of the best ways to do this process is to start recording. So I'm just gonna, where am I on my time? Probably a lot farther than I thought. Dang, it's already been 10 minutes, I can't believe it. So for the next 10 minutes, this is gonna be a long one. No, let's make it 5 minutes. So for the next 5 minutes, what I'm going to do is time myself and actually do a storyboard aloud, which is a way to storyboard an idea so that that idea becomes more clear. So I'm going to talk about it as I go. So I'm going to hit the record button in Otter, and what that's going to do is it's going to start recording my voice, and it's going to transcribe it for me in the cloud, which will be useful later. So, like I said, the 7 phases of production. Maybe this is too far away for you to actually read. I'll have to zoom in on that later. But so what I do is I take my Sharpie and my note cards and I start talking. The talking part is the aloud part, right? So this is called Storyboard Aloud because what you do is you get those ideas that are in your head. Maybe those ideas are in Evernote. Maybe they're in some other notebook that you have. What you're going to do is you're going to get them out into reality. You're going to speak them. And you're going to do that while you're writing note cards. And you're going to be shuffling the cards and organizing the ideas. So let me switch back to this other camera and show you what I mean. So I have a few things that I have already written out, and I'm going to put them up here. This note card says why. Why is always one of the very first things I start with. I ask myself, why am I doing this project? Why is it so important that I spend a lot of time on this new live video project? And the answer to that is because I want to create more regular content. And I have struggled in the past with getting that out. And so I've realized that creating live content on a regular basis is an excellent way for me to get ideas out there quickly. I don't have to edit videos. That takes forever. It takes me forever to edit videos. I shoot it, I get my different multicam options. You know, I can go in here and show you what's on my screen. I can go over here and here's YouTube. I can show you stuff on my website. I can show you this, you know, well, there's a page that didn't work. I was working on this earlier today. I can show you screenshots. I can show you how to do stuff for your website. I can go into, go in here and oh man, look, this is me live. I didn't mean to do that. All right, so I can show you how to set up, YouTube. So anyway, it's all so super quick. Let me switch back. I'm still getting used to the video settings here. It's also super quick, right? So regular content, this live process is going to help me create regular content. So what's the other why? Why am I doing this? Because I want to empower people, educate people, and inspire people. And this, by showing you how I do stuff, is going to do that. Now, another thing this project's going to do is I'm not going to be the only one on this project. Through the power of the internet, I'm going to be able to talk to other folks and look at their problems and help them problem solve. And so that's going to make it more interesting. That's going to bring up things that I never had thought of. It's going to help people solve real problems. It's going to introduce you to those other folks and the cool work that they're doing. So I'm going to be able to empower and educate and inspire folks through this project. So those are big, important whys to me. So now the 7 phases of production, let's see if this thing works. Okay, the 7 phases of production is something that I talk about a lot because it's a framework for helping you understand this entire process. So in a nutshell, the 7 phases, what are they? Pre-production, that's what I'm talking about now. This Storyboard Aloud that I'm doing is a pre-production process. Then there's production, which is actually shooting. I'm in production right now because I am recording. I am using my different cameras. I'm actually combining 2 things at once right now, which is kind of crazy. I am going into, I never thought about this. I'm actually producing and publishing at the same time. Hey, kind of cool. So that's the 3rd phase. Pre-production, production, post-production. I'm doing that as I talk, and then publishing. I'm doing 3 things at once. That's why this live is so amazing. I hadn't really thought of it in terms of the 7 P's of production, but I'm combining 3 things at once. All right, what else? I'm actually combining the next thing as well, because pre-production, production, post-production, publishing, and then promotion. So I have promised myself that I am going to promote these videos, step number 5, before I even do it. I'm going to tell people about the link. So I am promoting it and I'm getting it up there to YouTube. I'm putting in the keywords for YouTube, all that stuff, the SEO stuff, all of that is happening on the front end, which is one reason this live project is so powerful. So what else? What are the other, what's the other promotion? So, or the other phases? The phase that comes after promotion is proofing. So that's number 6. 6, proofing is a P word. It needed to start with P, right? So it's a P word that, that means to test, to go back and see how it worked. So you look at the data. Did that work? Look at it. Did you like it? What did you not like? So that's another P. So I'm definitely going to be talking about a lot about the phases of production. And the final P, before I move on, is process. So, for example, this storyboard aloud is a process. It's a method. It is a tactic for getting a bigger thing done. So, now, as I began this, I'm going to switch back to, as I began this process today of trying to decide what to talk about, as I looked at the introduction to this series, I am very much in the pre-production phase of this series, right? So I'm trying to figure out what to talk about. What am I going to teach? So I decided to teach this storyboard aloud because I'm teaching storyboard aloud because I use it all the time and I want to reference it. So in those future videos, I'm going to talk about storyboard aloud and I'm going to reference this video so you can learn how to do it yourself. So what else? Now, as you may have noticed, I wrote these down ahead of time. Now, usually I start with a blank slate and I write as I go. So if I were to look at this and I say, all right, well, where am I? What's my why? I want to create regular content. I want to empower and educate and inspire folks. Let me switch over to the camera. I know I want to teach the 7 phases of production. I want to also teach about workflows. So workflows are incredibly important. Workflows are the steps that you go through whenever you do something. And I am really big on writing down those steps as I do them so that the next time I have to go do something, I look at the list and then I go through the list and I tweak and improve. That's really good because I was talking to a friend about this the other day. It's really good because you're writing down a process, and one day as your business grows, you're going to pass a lot of tasks off to other people. Well, if you've written it down, if you've written down your workflows and you know your workflows really well and you focus on those workflows, then you can pass that workflow off to someone else, and someone else can do it. And you've already done a lot of the work. You've already shown them how you like to do it just by sending them a document and saying, this is how I want you to do it. So workflows are huge. Now I'm going to take out my roll of masking tape here. I didn't make enough little stickers because the next thing I want to talk about, and I don't want this video to go too long, I'm already at 19 minutes. I want to talk about automation. A lot of automation. I use that a lot. Let me switch over here to my screen view. I'm just going to show you what I've been looking at today. All right, we're looking at Bear right now. Let's see, hold on a second. There I am. We're looking at Bear. Bear is it's a writing app that I use every day. It's where I write. I write a lot in Evernote. I've got something like 15,000 Evernote notes. This is a workflow document that I've been creating for this project. But I've been working in Bear, so I had a list in there for Bear. So Storyboard Aloud here, you see. We've got the pre-production for the project, the 7 P's of production. These are just some of the things I want to talk about. So now these items will eventually, as I continue this Storyboard Aloud process, these items that you're looking at here. So podcast, I'm going to turn all this into an audio-based podcast. Setting up the podcast, that's something I want to talk about. Automation, I already mentioned that. Auphonic is a tool that I use for podcast and for video tools. Setting up YouTube, web post. I was doing some of that today because that's when I did my social sharing today. I had to jump into WordPress and update this page here, which is where folks are going to go to and click on this link, this upcoming live video link, where the newest video is going to be. So this is something that I had to do. Buffer is the tool that I'm experimenting with as a way to send to, right now I'm sending to Twitter, to Facebook, and to LinkedIn. The free Buffer account allows you to use 3. I haven't decided if I'm going to use the Pro version of Buffer or not. It's a great tool, but anyway, that's another discussion. but I'm looking into that. So branding, I haven't done enough branding. I had to come up with this kind of lousy image today. I'm not happy with it, but I needed an image. So I need to finish working on the branding for this particular project. That's something I want to talk about, different images going to branding, and then mobile video is a big topic. Not all the stuff is going to be happening in this room for this project. Some of it's going to be happening outside of the room. A lot of that's going to be happening through my phone, because I know that you're going to be using your phone as a lot as well. So to recap, let's go back. Storyboard Aloud. Storyboard Aloud is it's a process that helps you to use your hands, helps get those ideas out of your head through this pen onto this paper, where you can organize the ideas. You record it. I use Otter on my phone, and what it does, it transcribes everything I say. You set a timer, by the way, which I didn't really do. It's been 12 minutes. That's long enough. I'm going to wrap this up. Set a timer, set a time frame that you're going to talk, so that your brain knows that you've got to finish the thing. So right after this, what I'm going to do is do another Storyboard Aloud. I'm actually going to take some of these topics that I was just talking about, this podcast, automation, Auphonic, YouTube. I'm going to decide what to talk about next in this live project that I'm doing. And so what that's going to do, I've done this so many times, I know it's going to work. I'm going to be able to have so much more clarity. It's going to take these jumbles of ideas, and I'm going to be able to lay them out in an organized fashion. I'm going to use my speaking brain that's going to help get that jumble of ideas out of my head and into reality. So I encourage you to use the Storyboard Aloud tool, and we'll be talking about it in other phases of production, other content media topics here on this new project. I'm David Bourne. You can find me always at, you'll be finding me a lot, hopefully, right here on this page, newwildmedia.com/live, newwildmedia.com/live, where I'm going to put links to my past videos and links to the next upcoming video. This is the one that I did yesterday, an intro to the project. I did do a transcription of that, and so I'm planning on doing that every time. And gosh, that's been 25 minutes. I can't believe it's taken so long. If you're still with me at this point, I appreciate it, and I hope you will stay tuned, and I'm going to sign out. Hope you have a great day. By the way, if you got any questions, you can reach me at newwildmedia.com or any of the social accounts that I mentioned earlier. So send out your questions, send me your content marketing problems, and I will be glad to help you solve them. Cheers, everybody.